Well, we're getting in news that the children of the NIA officer Tanzil Ahmed has spoken about the entire incident and have given a very detailed account of what exactly happened on the night when their father was shot dead. Let's just listen into that. Okay, this is the news that we have, that the young children of the very brave inspector who was returning back home with his family after attending a wedding function have now spoken to the investigating agencies. They, obviously have recounted the horror that they were witness to when their father was killed by those unidentified assailants. Let's listen in.
पापा ने बस इतना बोला था कि जो जैसे उनकी पहली गोली लगी पापा ने बोला कि झुक जाओ, नीचे झुक जाओ मुझे और मेरी बहन से।
अच्छा, कोई और आया उसके बाद मदद के लिए? कोई आया शोर मचाया? नहीं, कोई एक आया था, लेकिन वो हमारी मदद नहीं किया, वो चले गए।
फिर गाड़ी किसने चलाई वहाँ से हॉस्पिटल तक के लिए?
वहाँ से हॉस्पिटल तक के लिए मेरे पैर लेके गए थे मुझे।
अच्छा, बताया जा रहा था शादी में देखा गया उन लोगों को बाइक लेके चक्कर मारते हुए।
नहीं,
पापा पहले भी निकल के अकेले गए थे उससे पहले, जब आप लोगों को लेके आए वापस?
नहीं।
बेटा आप लोग पीछे सीट में नीचे बैठ गए थे, आप और सिस्टर आपकी।
अच्छा, इससे पहले पापा ने कभी कोई डिस्कस किया कि बेटा मुझे खतरा है या कोई बात है?
कितनी देर तक रहेंगे? जो हमलावर थे कितनी देर तक वहाँ स्पॉट पे? तकरीबन आपको गोली आवाज
ज्यादा एक दो मिनट।
दो लोग
पापा के साथ पहले कभी कोई सिक्योरिटी चलती थी?
दो लोग थे एक बाइक पे, वो लोग आगे से आए, हमारी गाड़ी को देखकर पीछे यू टर्न लिया और पापा वाली साइड पे आके पीछे वाले ने शूटिंग करी। जब शीशा टूटा तो पापा की कंट्रोल खो गया, पापा की उसकी गाड़ी से, और आगे जाके गाड़ी डूब गई और वो मारते गए, पापा को मारते ही गए। उनकी गोली खत्म हो गई तब भी वो भर के फिर से मारते गए जब तक पापा बिल्कुल खत्म नहीं हो गए।
पापा
मारी थी उन्होंने, गोली उसके अंदर भरी थी।
पापा ने कभी कोई खतरा बताया था आप लोगों को?
कुछ नहीं, पापा
कभी नहीं था, कभी कोई शेयर नहीं करा कि कुछ
पापा कुछ ऐसे अच्छे थे, वो कुछ नहीं करते थे, वो गलत काम।
Okay, we will now move on to some other news. West Bengal's first phase of polling is currently underway, wherein 18 constituencies of the 294-seat legislative assemblies are going to polls. In fact, it is the first phase of the 6-phase elections in the state after heavy campaigning by all the political parties, including that of the Trinamool Congress, the left. The elections are being held in West Bengal's Maoist-affected areas today. In phase 1, 133 candidates are trying their luck in the districts of West Midnapur, Purulia and Bankura. Out of the 18 constituencies, voting in 13 will end as early as 4 in the evening as a result of security reasons.
After going through many polling stations in Bankura, one thing we have realized that women has come in much. The participation of women is higher than men. ছেলেরা কি কম আসছে?
ছেলেরা কাজে গেছে হয়তো সবাই, আমাদের এই পাশে গরিবের সংখ্যা খুব বেশি, সবাই কাজে গেছে। যেমন আমার স্বামী বাইরে পড়ে থাকে কাজের জন্য, দুটো ভাতের জন্য। হ্যাঁ, আমাদের দুটো চালও পাইনি আমরা,
দুটো চালও পাইনি।
মিলটা যে হয়েছে সেটাও আমরা পাইনি, 3টা বাচ্চা সংসার চালাতে পারছি না। এই তো কেস আমাদের এই পাশে।
Schemes that the state government has offered in the last few months, particularly rice at ₹2 per kg, and that's why they say that they're aggrieved and they're going to exercise their right to vote. Reporting from Saringa with Sanjay Chaudhary on Indo Banerjee for India Today.
Okay, let's just listen in to a 75-year-old voter, Taruta Giri, who also cast her vote in Bankura. She is also contributing towards formation of a new government and she hopes that at least they would provide more facilities for senior citizens like her.
না, আমি আশা তো করছি, আশা আমাকে দিচ্ছে কি, করে দিলেন তো কোনো বিদ্যুৎ কোনো দিচ্ছে কি?
আপনি দেননি? সরকারের কাছে চেয়েছিলেন? আপনি
অনেকবার এখানে অনেকবার দিয়েছি, ফটো দিয়েছি, জেরক্স দিয়েছি, এই রেশন কার্ড দিয়েছি, দিলনি, হবেনি, বড় লোক কে কি বলে দিয়েছে, বড় লোক।
In fact, we're also getting in news that about 850 villagers in Purulia district of West Bengal have called for a poll boycott in that particular region. The voters from Chiruvita and Pilsol villages have now protested, demanding water supply and better roads. They even shouted slogans threatening to boycott the state elections if their demands are not met.
वोट बॉयकॉट इसलिए किया है, मेरे को और पहले है पानी जल, दूसरा है रास्ता, तीसरा है बच्चा लोग का स्कूल जाने के लिए,
क्या क्या होता है
प्रॉब्लम रास्ता कितना कचरा होता है, गड्ढा गुड्ढा होता है, तार पर साइकिल नहीं जाने के लिए 2 चक्का गाड़ी 4 चक्का गाड़ी, हम लोग बाजार में रहने से कोनो गाड़ी गांव भी आए नहीं आता है, इसलिए हम लोग को सब महिला इकट्ठा हुआ है।
Okay, now let's get in India Today's Amir for more on the recent developments. Amir, so far, how really has been the voter turnout? If you could just give us, first details about the number of people who have arrived to cast their vote.
Well, Avantika, the voter turnout has been fairly good in Purulia as far as the figures are concerned, because the figures show that till 1 p.m. in the afternoon, almost 63% of the voters had actually cast their vote, which figure is definitely by all standards very, very good. And there still is time till 6 p.m., especially in urban centers where people who would perhaps not come outside their homes because of the heat outside can still come out around late afternoon, and the voting will be on till 6 p.m. In about 13 of the assembly constituencies out of the 18 going to polls today, which are actually Maoist affected, people will only vote till about 4 p.m. But for the rest of the constituencies, it's open. So, by all standards, there's been a good voting that has happened in the first phase of West Bengal elections.
Now, tell me, Amir, the districts going to polls traditionally saw, the left bastion enjoying power for many years, till, of course, the Trinamool Congress came in and changed the entire game. Do you see that people still, believe in the existing government, or are you seeing a change of heart from whatever, you have spoken to the voters?
Well, as far as the politics in this region is concerned, it's a little bit tricky for the ruling party at the moment, because Trinamool Congress bagged about 6 seats in the 9 assembly constituencies in the Purulia district. Left parties had 2 in their kitty, and Congress had 1 seat. But around 2014 parliamentary elections, the composite vote share of left parties and Congress put together kind of exceeded Trinamool Congresses at various places. So definitely TMC seemed to be on a sticky wicket this time around. But the government knew this beforehand, and therefore over the last 2 years, a lot of developmental work has actually happened in Maoist affected areas of Purulia and the rest. Although there are glaring problems like water scarcity, as you just mentioned, also network of roads needs to be improved. There's a glaring need to improve the infrastructure and bring in industries over here, because this entire region is completely dry and arid. There's practically no agriculture. So the government has done a bit of work as far as Food Security Act is concerned. People are getting, rice at the rate of 2 rupees per kg. And especially in Jungle Mahal area, people are being given 2 kgs of rice. So that is something that has, brought back attention of people towards Trinamool Congress. But it still remains to be seen that after the left parties in Congress have come together in an alliance, whether they'll actually be able to upset the kind of vote share that Trinamool Congress enjoyed way back in 2011.
All right, absolutely. Amir Haq there. Thank you so much for getting us up to speed with the very latest. Let's shift focus now to Assam. Voting has started in 65 constituencies as part of the first phase of the assembly elections. In fact, the fate of around 539 candidates who are in the fray for the first phase of polls will now be decided by voters. This is, of course, the most crucial phase for the ruling Congress, which is contesting all the 65 constituencies, while the BJP is contesting 52 in the first phase. 3-time Chief Minister of Assam, Tarun Gogoi, is looking for a 4th term in the state. He did cast his vote at Jorhat this morning. Giving him competition will be BJP's Chief Ministerial candidate Sarbanananda Sonowal. The BJP is also fielding 54 candidates with its alliance partner, the Assam Gana Parishad, that has 11 candidates. Meanwhile, the Congress is fielding 65 candidates and the AIUDF has 21.
आपका क्या कहना है इस बार जिस तरह से राजनीति हो रही है, आपको लगता है निजी अटैक ज्यादा हो रहे हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, जब तक मोदी आ रहा है तो इंडिया में सोशल डिस्हार्मनी हो रहा है। वो तो कॉन्फ्रंटेशन पॉलिसी कर रहा है। कोई हिंदू मुसलमान, कोई बीफिटिंग का है। देखिए वो क्या एक बोल रहा है जब मुसलमान होगा तो पाकिस्तान में रहने को होगा। वी हैव टू स्टॉप दिस फेलो हु क्रिएट ए कॉन्फ्रंटेशन, हैट्रेड, Is it this type of politics on? You need how can you bring changes when there will be no social harmony?
Estimations are that the people will vote in for a strong government. If you see the various polls, our party still remains to be the largest party. After the 2014 polls, to many it's come as a surprise that the party at the center, which had such, saw the peak of its popularity, within 2 years has seen such a vast change. So that just gives you a sense of the public mood in Assam. And I'm quite confident that they would vote in a manner that only takes Assam forward.
Manogya Loiwal joins us for more on this. Manogya, Tarun Gogoi there sounding extremely confident of another Congress victory and saying that, his government has only brought about change for the better.
Well, absolutely. It's the curious case of checkmate. Whoever makes the first move takes the battle ahead. And that's what BJP and Congress is playing. Extremely confident. Both chief ministerial candidates have been extremely confident. Today we spoke to both of them. Interestingly, we've also observed that it's not just about Tarun Gogoi, but an entire family who has been standing in his support, including Gaurav Gogoi, who happens to be a member of parliament from the party, and Assam. Remember, the question now this time is whether 2014 will be reiterated in 2016 with the kind of margin that BJP had, whether they would be able to survive, or has the Modi balloon burst or the Congress balloon burst this time. So whoever gets the pin this time will have to take the move out of this entire assembly brigade. But one thing we have to understand, it's not just about the political scenario, but also the big fight between the state and the center, because this would be another proving point for not just the state but also for the central government, which has pitched in Prime Minister Narendra Modi to campaign regularly, including Rahul Gandhi visit, which is happening today in Lower Assam. But Upper Assam is considered to be the first ODI of the 2 matches that would be played in 2 phases in Assam, and of course whoever takes the lead will have the advantage and the vantage point.
But what about Mr. Gogoi facing stiff competition from a very impressive opposition, because we have the BJP, the AGP, the Bodos, Rabhas and everybody united. So what does he feel about the competition that he's facing?
Well, he knows that in case the number game persists and the voting percentage is to be talked about, what we saw in 2014 and 2011, if we go on that basis, well, in Upper Assam, the 65 seats that go for poll today, interestingly, BJP had made inroads into almost 44 seats. So in 2014, however, they had just 2 seats out of this 65 seat in 2011. So from 2 to 44 is an increase of 42 seats. But this time with 65 seats going to poll, and interestingly, the chief ministerial candidate also contesting from Majuli, which happens to be the largest river island in Asia, this would be a big question for both the parties.
Okay, we're getting in news that the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal did attend the NIA officers' last rites, and when he did arrive, the locals started demanding compensation. We are also getting to...
Footwork correct? Hi, this is Kohli very Maintain this, huh? Hi, this is Kohli very